Hello and welcome to our millions of viewers here in Nigeria, the continent and all around the world. This is Lunchtime Politics, where we unpack the biggest stories in the political landscape. Let's check out what's on our radar this hour. Members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities, the Non-Academic Staff Union, stage a protest in the nation's capital Abuja, Lagos, and Kwara states over welfare issues. Court adjourns the case for the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to October 16. These are images of members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and those of the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, who are protesting in Abuja, Lagos, and Kwara states. The protest, we understand, is part of the nationwide action decided upon by the Joint Action Committee, JAC, of the two unions, the expiration of a 2-week deadline given to the federal government to address the demands, which are mainly welfare issues. The protesting university workers are also demanding, among other things, the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement with the federal government, immediate payment of 25 and 35 payment salary increment, as well as the immediate payment of all withheld salaries. Well, let's head to the National Assembly now, and the Senate has summoned the Minister of Defense, Mr. Muhammad Badaru, the Chief of Army Staff, and the Inspector General of Police to appear before it and brief lawmakers on the federal government's response to the growing violence in the Kwara South Senatorial District. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion sponsored by the Deputy Senate President, or leader rather, Senator Yolola Ashiru, on the urgent need to address insecurity in the district, particularly in the Felodo local government area. Our National Assembly correspondent Gloria Omezoke reports.
Lawmakers convene on the second legislative day of the week with a number of high-profile guests present to witness the swearing-in of 2 new senators by the Senate President after over a year of vacancy. The Senate temporarily relaxed its rules to admit them.
I bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The swearing-in of Senator Joseph Ikpeya, representing Edo Central, and Senator Emmanuel Nwachukwu from Abga, representing Anambra South Senatorial District, follows the recent by-elections conducted to fill 2 vacant seats previously held by Governor Monday Okpebolo of Edo State and Senator Ifeanyi Uba, who passed on in July 2024.
I must say that we have given you 2 items today. One is the Nigerian Constitution, which you must try to imbibe the contents. The second one that we have given you, which you must start reading from today, is the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended.
Minutes after, the chamber erupted into an uproar as the Senate President announced the defection of yet another lawmaker to the ruling All Progressives Congress.
I want a strong and vibrant opposition in Nigeria, but where they are not able to organize themselves, and all the political parties are in tatters, then the right thing for them to do is to join me and join Mr. President so that we can together move this country forward.
For the rest of us that are here, Mr. President, we are satisfied that we are still here. And we will try to remain here until 2027.
In the meantime, the wave of killings, kidnappings and armed banditry became a focal point as Senator Lola Ashiru raises alarm. The Senate therefore adopted a number of resolutions, including establishing a military base in Ifelodun local government area in Kwara South.
Mandate the Senate to invite the Minister of Defense, Chief of Army Staff, and Inspector General of Police to brief the Senate in plenary on the coordinated federal response to insecurity in Kwara and other areas so affected. Those in support of prayer 4 as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Like the House, President Bola Tinubu has sought approval from the Senate to borrow $2.35 billion in external capital to finance part of the 2025 budget deficit and refinance Nigeria's maturing Eurobonds. The Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts expected to revert in 1 week. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
And the former governorship candidate of the Labour Party here in Lagos, Badebo Rose-Vivo, is calling for justice over the attack on his supporters and for prosecution of the member of the National Union of Road Transport Workers who appeared to threaten opposition party members. Addressing a press conference, Mr. Rose-Vivo condemns the actions of the union's member and is asking the federal and state governments to distance themselves from any form of intimidation.
Video evidence and eyewitness accounts show that the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers in Lagos State issued directive to some of its members to attack, to hurt, to maim, to disrupt, to intimidate and harm opposition gatherings. Instructions that were carried out at my declaration in Alimosho and which foreshadowed the threats we later received following our successful gathering at adjourned in Felodun. We will not be baited into violence, but we will not be cowed into silence. We demand immediate, transparent, and independent investigation into the Alimosho assaults and directives issued by NERTW leadership. We expect public condemnation from the presidency, the governor, and leaders of Lagos APC of all forms of political violence and explicit disavowal of any instruction that uses or tolerates thuggery. Normalizing violence radicalizes our youth. From the tragic killing of an innocent dispatch rider not too long ago, the violence we saw during the 2023 elections, to assaults on September 6th and my declaration, and to the attack on several of my supporters, including my sister, who required several stitches to her head, these are not random acts. They are part of a pattern. If left unchecked, they will push more young Nigerians to the brink. The nation is a federal republic, not a fiefdom, to be won and maintained by hard muscle or by those who believe themselves above the law. We will use every lawful avenue, the courts, public inquiries, parliamentary processes, civic mobilization, and the ballot to demand justice, transparency, and reform.
All right, so let's take a moment and reflect on Nigeria's power sector for a moment, particularly here in Lagos State, where the Lagos State Electricity Regulatory Commission a few days ago officially licensed 2 new distribution companies, Excel Distribution Company Limited and IE Energy Lagos Limited. That means that they have now replaced Eco and Ikeja electricity across Lagos State. What does this mean for Nigerians who are resident here in Lagos? Let's unpack all of this now with the MD and CEO Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, who joins us live on the program. Barrister Sunday Oduntan joins us live on the program. Thank you indeed for stopping by our studios to help us unpack what this means and the implications for Nigerians. For the managing director of LASEC, he says that, I'm trying to quote him, he says, this is a defining moment in the journey of Lagos towards a reliable and sustainable electricity market. And he says that This will now push energy independence in the private sector and better service delivery to almost 20 million or even more, not more than that, residents here in Lagos State. Help us unpack what this means for the average household. On paper, it looks good, but the reality, help us walk through that.
Okay, thank you very much. On paper, it looks good. In reality, it looks very, very good. Let me take you a bit back in history. Around 2002 or thereabout, the then Lagos State government, under the able leadership of the then Lagos State Governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, attempted to bring a barge to Lagos to generate electricity for Lagos State as an independent power plant, but that was cut through by the federal government on the excuse that our law then did not allow states to generate, transmit, and distribute their own electricity. What has happened now is the emergence of the Electricity Act of 2023, as amended, which we currently have. What that has done is to give the states the power to generate, transmit, and distribute their own electricity within their states. And so many states have taken advantage of this so far. Not less than 24 states have shown interest. It's a matter of time. We expect all 36 states to buckle their belts and take advantage of this. Other states like Enugu, they have established their Electricity Regulatory Commission. So what Lagos State has done is that they have put in place the Lagos State Electricity Regulatory Commission under the able leadership of Engineer Bola Odubiyi, a very well-known expert in this industry, who was also a member of the very first 2005 thereabout Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. He was a commissioner, then the first set of commissioner. So what has happened now is that in line with that law, all our discos, all the 11 discos, wherever they operate, they have to register a subsidiary company. So what you have as IE Energy Lagos Limited is a subsidiary of Ikeja Electric within Lagos State. And when you hear Excel Electricity Division Company, that's a subsidiary of Eco Electricity Division Company, because that's what the law says. So what it means is that as far as this state is concerned, those are the two discos for now. More players will come, and there will be more competition. They will be licensing other discos to operate within Lagos State. So it is a good thing for the people. It's a good thing for us too, because as an industry, the moment you start having states taking control of their electricity regulation, electricity generation, distribution, and of course transmission, what we now have, or what we are going to have, is what I would call a true federalism, whereby each state or each federative unit can take charge of certain things. In this case, their electricity. So that's what has happened. Yes. Those who say Ikeja Electric is no more, I'm sorry to inform you that we are very much around. Ikeja Electric is the parent company of IE Energy Lagos Limited. So it means that it's not a replacement. It's not a replacement. But some people also wonder that an adjustment. Yeah, but some people just wonder that this is just a case of semantics. No. Or nomenclature. I mean, you just change the name. No. And you say, okay, it's no longer Eco, it's now IE. No. And Excel. But beyond the naming, what difference would it bring on the table? We are talking a population that is more than even 20 million. On a daily basis, people walk into Lagos by air, on foot, on water, on a daily basis. Yeah. How would this translate to having more power for Nigerians? Okay. in Lagos
and
State.
maybe if you go further to say, look, with this transition now, with this adjustment, let me use your word, with this adjustment, what's the average hours we're looking at for the average Lagosian residents or homes with this transition now?
Well, with this transition, what we are going to have is that we, as IE Energy Limited or Exalt Electricity Distribution Company, are going to be reporting to the Lagos State Electricity Regulatory Commission. So we are now going to be operating under the authority of that body. And that will make things better because they are in Lagos State, we are operating in Lagos State. All issues to do with electricity regulation within Lagos State being handled by them. So it will be very easy to deal with issues, including complaints or problems, even our major problem of energy theft and things that we're going through can best be dealt with in this way, other than us taking everything to the federal level, having to go to Abuja or reporting an issue in Jangbadi to Abuja. Now that we have it in Lagos, I'm sure it will make things better, no doubt. And they'll be able to regulate us better too. It's like you have a new sheriff in town, so it helps us to also be on our toes to do what is right, to ensure that we do what we're expected to do. There'll be more efficiency. And I can assure you that this will bring good tidings to both the investors and, of course, to the consumers.
If you were to make a projection or make an estimate,
yes,
guaranteeing Lagosians that, look, you're going to have 10 hours of power supply in 24 hours or 14 hours of power supply in 24 hours. What's the guarantee? What can you project?
Okay, what I can tell you is that when you talk about giving guarantee that we'll have this X number of
because
hours.
That's the interest of the average Nigerian.
Already, no.
It's not the transition, it's not the naming or the semantics.
Okay.
It's the fact that, can I have power with so and so number of hours? And then, of course, the issue of affordability, because yes, in some areas in Lagos, we've seen that the hybrid area, the island areas, indeed it's possible to have power for 18 hours, 20 hours. But then there's for
even
the average,
24 hours in some cases.
Of course, in some cases, a few cases. I'm not sure it's up to 10%.
Not few cases, some cases, many areas in Lagos. I can mention Magodo, go there. You can check. They are looking at us. Go to Surulere, all those Macha area, all those areas.
So speak to the affordability.
So what I'm saying, when you're talking about affordability, please, let us get it straight. This is Channel TV, right? The last time I checked, every camera in this room that you're using here are all imported. They are not produced in Nigeria. So what that means is that there's a cost element to these cameras. So when you talk about affordability, the first thing we have to talk about is in any product you are producing, whether it is bread or anything, it comes at a cost. So the landing cost determines the selling price. So the issue of affordability is not the issue. The issue is that people should have value for their money. When people pay for something, they should get the value for it. And that's why I talk about efficiency. But the states are now
allowed with the Electricity Act to generate their power. So one would expect that, I mean, now that states are now having to generate their own power, perhaps it should be a bit more affordable.
Okay. Power generation doesn't happen overnight. It's not a 1 week or a 1 month or a 3-month deal. It doesn't happen like that anywhere in the world. What will happen is that gradually, and I've said it before on this program a while ago, that the privatization of the Nigerian power sector is a long journey on its own. And if you look back, today you are having more electricity, even here, this location, you are having more electricity today than you had 2 years ago. Fact. So even this government, they brought more electricity on board as of today, compared with what we had before. So gradually we've been making progress. But the progress may be slow, and people need to be patient. So as we go on in this journey, I can assure you that things will get better.
Yeah.
And that is the point I'm making. So if you want 24-hour electricity, and when you hear band A, band B, C, D, E, the purpose of that is to get everybody into band A. And when you hear band A, don't think about 209 naira per kilowatt hour. Think about 24-hour electricity. But when you have 24-hour electricity, you just have to pay for it. Check it out anywhere else. Go to Senegal, check Ghana. Nigerians on Band A pay the lowest tariff in West Africa. These are the things we should look at. So it is not a cheap product.
Some people argue that. It's good to always make some of these comparisons with other countries in the continent.
We have to.
But the argument is also that we are blessed as a nation. We have dams.
Really?
I mean, if you check out the resources, natural resources, compared to other African countries, and even the developed climes or countries, if you look at how blessed we are in terms of these giftings, these minerals, these resources, one would expect that, it should be a bit more affordable for Nigerians. We have dams. That
should be a question for the government at all levels, local, state, and federal. But when you talk about we are blessed, how much of these mineral resources have you even harnessed as a nation? So don't let us go
because
into
I'm just
all of
wondering, out of let's say 20 to 25 million or 30 million Lagosians, how many of that percentage can afford Band A?
Many of them can, if they manage their energy properly.
On a scale of on a scale of 1 to 10, realistically, how many do you think?
I would say 7.
7?
Yes, I repeat 7.
But I'm not sure about
because
that.
even a vulcanizer, if he can manage his energy properly, we are fond of doing many things in this country, which is not right. Going to an average home at 8 p.m. They are watching TV in their sitting room, in the sitting room, all of them. The light upstairs will be on, kitchen, bedroom, everywhere will be on. Or in the afternoon, go to Ikeja, you see lights out on Abafema Olo.
Because
in Ikeja, in the afternoon.
We believe in lighting up Nigeria. Everywhere has to be well lit.
Not in the afternoon, not outside in the afternoon.
Yes, but let me take you up on something else. You mentioned it in your opening remarks, the Electricity Act 2023.
Yes.
By these laws, our states have been empowered to generate, transmit and distribute their own powers.
Yes.
But I don't agree with you that many states have embraced this.
When I say embrace, when I say they have embraced it, I'm not saying that they have really started very well. Only few states have started. And when I say they have started, not that they have started generating electricity anyway, but they have started putting in place things that will make those things possible. So we need to be patient with them. But at the same time, some states have not even done anything. You see, people like to say, we want to do it ourselves, we want to be an independent state, blah, blah, blah. So many of our states still want to rely on Abuja, federal structure, federal grid, federal level. Only a few states, like Lagos State, I have no doubt that Lagos State will make it happen. I have no doubt that Enugu State will make it happen. And a few other states. But there are several states that need to do something tangible. You see, talk is cheap. It is easier for people to say, I will do this, I will do that. The first and foremost thing to be done by the state is to get their priorities right. We have a very, very large government that we operate in this country, which is taking a lot of resources away. So we need to do what is right. If we give priority to electricity, I think we can all do it. Every single state in Nigeria can get it done. And when we are talking about electricity, we should be thinking about different sources of generation. Solar, waste, different, not just hydro and gas fire stations. We can do quite a lot of things to get it. And when you produce electricity en masse, the more you produce, as you're doing it, the prices or the tariff will be going up. You get to a level, the tariff will start coming down. The more you produce, the less the price as time goes on. The reason why you have what seems to be a high tariff at this moment is that we're not producing enough. So it is an opportunity now for the states to take the challenge and get it done and do what is right and have the right priority. It makes me sick. When I look at a state, you see them having 300 personal SA, special assistant, SSA, personal assistant. In some states, some of them even live abroad. How can you be an SA to a governor and you are living abroad? So we should stop deceiving ourselves.
All right. I'm told that we have to round off our conversation at Barrister Sunday, but for a power distributor and your association, walk us through some of the challenges that you go through.
Number one is energy theft. People steal energy. When you look at, okay, I'll give you a figure. In quarter 2, which is between April and June this year, the disclosed revenue had gone up to 564.7 billion, 564.7. But whenever anybody hears that figure, it looks like a lot of money. But when you look at this figure, the energy received was more than 564 billion naira worth of energy. It is because a lot of these were stolen by our customers and even by people that we don't even know.
When you
That's a major concern.
What exactly are they stealing?
When people bypass their meters,
okay.
When people do a lot of illegal connection, when you see welders in some places, they do what they call bacon. They just throw up the wire, their cable up direct, and they are using electricity free of charge. That is a very major problem, and that problem leads to a major liquidity crisis. And once we don't have money, it also affects our own obligation to our customers. So those are the problems that we have. But with the state coming on board now, I think it will be easier for us to monitor things within the state and to deploy more technology within the states.
Well, it's a fine place to anchor it. I like the fact that you seem very optimistic that things are going to get better in terms of power generation and transmission.
Yes.
With these adjustments. For you, it says not a replacement, it's an adjustment. So we hope that things will get better indeed for Nigerians who are residents here in Lagos. For the average Nigerian, the concern is that they want to see more power in their households and perhaps a bit more affordable. Barrister Sunday. But thank you indeed for stopping by our studios. This Barrister Sunday Oduntan is the MD and CEO Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Just before we go, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has adjourned the trial of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on alleged terrorism to October 16. The trial was adjourned following the inability of the Nigerian Medical Association to present its reports to the health status of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu to the court. And we'll look forward to October 16. Well, that does it for us here on the program today and indeed the week. Thank you indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.